banks can change their rules on funding in what seems like a blink of the eye. So it's always a smart idea to understand what every bank is doing, whether some are giving out more money or some are tightening up. Hi, my name is Matt Coach. I created this YouTube channel to show the tips, tricks, and mistakes on my way to building an 8-figure real estate portfolio. And there is a general idea that people will come across where banks are either lending more or lending less. And while that may be like, an overarching truth, hey, more banks are loosening up and lending more right now, or more banks are tightening up and lending less right now, what you're going to find is most of the time it's a little bit more in depth than that. So banks go from, they have reports on how much they're lending, their returns, how many people are defaulting, things like that. And banks will take that information and loosen up their lending requirements, or they will, for instance, come out with a lending product or a credit card that has better rewards. They might change something like that. Or they might loosen up the regulatory requirements. They might go like, hey, we'll go up higher with no or low doc loans, or we'll shrink in that side, or we'll get more strict on people having a better prior relationship with us versus not. So these are things that shift with banks on like a quarterly basis. They can go and make determinations on whether they should do more or less lending at the time, or how strict their lending requirements should be for each of their lending products. So don't sit here under the premise of like all banks are tightening up or all banks are loosening up. Know that it's always going to be a shift and a paradigm of some banks are trying to get more business coming their way, and other banks are trying to tighten up and keep more cash reserves on hand. So there you guys go. Just try and keep that in your realm of knowledge, and why it's important to know and be up to date with lending, and always be trying to get more funding for your business so that you're aware of which banks are giving out money and which banks are not giving out money at the moment. See you later.